Hi guys, welcome back to a new knitting podcast. My name is Claudia and I'm a knitter here based in the Netherlands and I really love colorful knits. So if you like colorful knits, stick around on my channel or at least in this podcast because you're gonna see some color. And yeah, welcome to Knitted Journey. It's been a while since I filmed my last podcast. I believe it was like a month ago, or maybe even more that I filmed it, and it wasn't supposed to happen. I actually wanted my last podcast to be like the start of a semi-regular upload schedule because I really wanted to get in a groove and I am in a knitting mojo. But yeah, life happened. I'm going through some stuff and that's going to keep me busy for the upcoming weeks or months even, and I haven't felt the need or felt excited to film, to be honest. I felt tired a lot and emotionally wrecked, which meant that I knitted so much. I knitted so much, like therapy knitting. If you know, you know that knitting just helps to forget everything or to process things. Um, yeah, so the conclusion is I'm finally feeling the energy and excitement to film another podcast. It won't be a regular schedule. I can't promise that myself. I don't need that pressure right now in my life. So I'm going to film right now because now I feel like it. And I have so much to show you. It's crazy. Like a month. It's a lot to show. So let's get started with my first finished object. And that is this cardigan. I showed you this last time I was working on the body and I believe I did the sleeves. I don't know. But this is the Field Day cardigan by Ozetta. I'm going to button this for you. It is a DK weight V-neck drop shoulder cardigan and I knitted this in Phildar Berlingot Tweed coloré. I'll mention everything down below for you, so you can look the yarn up. But it's this tweedy, ooh, the light's a little bit difficult today, but it's a tweed yarn, which is, I believe, cotton and viscose and polyester blend. So it's really, really soft and it's lovely to wear on the skin. So this is the cardigan. It has really dropped shoulders and this is the seam on the back over here, as you can see, and you knit the bottom band at the same time in a 1x1 rib. That's, I believe it's like a trademark for Ozetta. She does that a lot, and it's cropped, as you can see. But if you know me, I'm really short and I like everything cropped, so I'm going to show you some b-roll footage of me wearing it. And I can't wait for it to be cold enough to wear this because, as I said, it's really soft and I think it's easy to style a cute outfit with this cardigan. Like I've worn it with a black high neck top underneath it, but I would really like a brown, like a dark chocolatey brown top to go underneath. And then I think I'm going to wear this like unbuttoned for most of the time because then it truly is in that relaxed fit, because it has so much positive ease that it starts dropping down like halfway of my upper arms, and that's really wide. And you think that's so oversized that's easy to wear buttoned, and I like it buttoned, but then it feels like it tucks in a little bit at the bottom, but it has no shaping. It should be right. So then it feels a little bit too snug. I don't know. I'm going to see how I'll wear this, and I made the sleeves a lot tighter than the pattern suggested, so I did my own decrease, I'm sorry, thing. I have no idea what I did. I changed it up a little bit, so it slants here a lot more. And I hope this will stretch out a little bit more because then it feels more relaxed. but that will happen over time with wear, I'm sure of that. So yeah, I really like this yarn and how neat it looks. And it's just really soft, it blocks out beautifully. And in the last podcast I told everything I believe about the yarn and the needle size, but at the moment, and it's been like this for the last couple of months, apparently I'm a really loose knitter now. Like a year and a half ago I was a really tight knitter, but now I'm really loose knitter. So this pattern is meant to be knit on needle size 4.5, and I made this on 3, I think size 3. It's crazy. So I have the same amount of stitches, but it didn't feel like a DK weight project, more like fingering weight with a little bit thicker yarn than you're supposed to have. So it was not all that nice to work on my hands, for my hands. And I used progress trackers a lot, especially in the end with the body, because all the rows were so long. But that really helped speed this up. And for, I think, almost 2 weeks, I prioritized this a lot. And then it was finished. And the bottoms, I have no idea where they're from, like the brand, but I bought them at my local yarn store. They're really big and they stand out. They are dark brown with a lighter brown in the middle. If you can see it in the sun, yeah, right there. I like them. I don't know if I want to have a little bit less. I don't know how to say this in English, but these stand out a lot on this cardigan, and maybe I want to change them up to be a little bit less visible, so it doesn't distract from the cardigan. But for now, I think I'm going to wear this, and I'm really happy that I finished it. Firstly, because it's been a long project, long-standing project, but secondly, I really like the end result. So yeah, that's finished object number 1. The next, I'm not sure if I showed you this, so I'm going to show you again. It's this cute little baby sweater, because a colleague of mine has given birth to twins, and I've worked really closely with this colleague, so I wanted to make her something, and I didn't feel like a baby had for this time. And I wanted to make a sweater for each of the babies. And this one is already blocked, as you can see, and I want to put in like eyes and a really cute nose, like Petiteknit's teddy sweater or teddy suit. I don't know, I'm going to get my inspiration from that. And the second one is also finished. So now I have a really cute matching sweaters. The pattern that I used is a free Ravelry pattern from, I don't know by whom it is, I'll mention it, but it's called the Good Old Raglan. And it's a really basic raglan sweater with short row shaping in the back. And it's just a really standard pattern, and I really like it. I do have to say, they turned out to be a lot bigger than I intended to. I chose size 3 to 6 months because they were born in, well, they were born way too early. They were born in July, I believe, end of July. So I thought, well, 6 months ahead, then we're right in the middle of winter. That should be fine, and the babies probably will be small, but then it's a little bit oversized. And I thought it would be like between 3 and 6 months. Now, I think they can wear this next year, maybe. Or maybe just as a really oversized sweater. So I want to use the brown yarn as the detail on the lightest sweater. And I think I'm going to use black yarn for this one, because that looks a little bit cuter. And the yarn that I used is Drops Merino Extra Fine. So it's a superwash DK weight merino. I don't like to knit that for myself, to wear for myself, also because it's superwash, so it stretches a lot. But yeah, for baby knits, it's perfectly fine, because then the mother can throw it in the washing machine. Or like the parent. So yeah, maybe I will show you these next time with the faces on them really quick, just because that's going to be cute. Although maybe I will have given them away. I'm not sure yet. But I'm glad these are finished, because I wanted to have them done in like 1 or 2 weeks, but that didn't happen. And especially the last couple of weeks I didn't feel like knitting on these. But those are finished, and I have one other finished object, and I haven't shown you that, only the yarn and the plants. But it's the weekend slipover V-neck by Petiteknit, and I made this for my sister. And the yarn that I used is Drops Flora, which is a wool alpaca blend, and Drops brushed alpaca silk. And the brushed alpaca silk I used in a grey color. Don't know if that's the name, but it's grey. And I had a bunch of that left, and decided that grey is really not my color, because color for me and grey is so, I don't know, boring. It doesn't suit my personality. It doesn't look great on me color-wise. But then I wanted to marl it with a brownish color. So the Flora color is like a beige color, and now I have this blend between beige and a gray, which is perfect for my sister because she loves neutrals so much. And it's really soft, fluffy fabric. Yeah, as you can see, it doesn't look that great on me color-wise, but I love how it turned out. So the slip over is dropped shoulder, or like it drops quite low, and I already made this pattern for myself in a really beautiful pink color. You can look it up in a couple of episodes ago in springtime, I believe. And I really like that pattern, and I really like to wear that slip over like a white t-shirt, or maybe over a blouse, something like this, when it's really oversized, because the sleeves are quite, or the armholes quite low, and they also have that V decrease here as in the middle. So you knit this one, you start in the back and do some short row shaping, and then you pick up stitches on the left front and then on the right front, and you join them, and you do some increases with the armhole shaping, and then obviously for the V-neck, and then you join in around. And it's quite long. For me this will be way too long, but my sister's a little bit longer than me, and I think that will suit her really well. And I made the size small. It is her recommended size. I just put it on for myself just to check, and I can fit this perfectly because it's intended to have probably 20 centimeters of positive ease. I think I made large or extra large for myself, and that falls like beautifully, and this is a little bit too snug for how this is meant to be. It isn't snug at all, but it's not as oversized as I would like. So I think it will suit my sister really well, and I'm glad that I could use up some of the yarn. I have so much left of the brushed alpaca silk, and I bought 4 skeins of the Flora because that's what the pattern said for size 2 for a small, and then I used only 2.5 skeins, so I have 1.5 skein left. But yeah, I like that color. It's going to be used somewhere someday, hopefully. But it's still a little bit damp, so I'm going to lay this flat. I made this, I think, in a week and a half. But it's the season for this right now, so I want to give this to her as soon as possible, as soon as I can see her. So yeah, just needs to dry a little bit. So those were my finished objects. Now I have 1, 2, 3 sweaters to show you, a scarf, and 2 upcoming projects with some new yarn that I bought. So I'm going by a little bit quick, but most of this you've seen before. Let's start with the closest one to me, which is the Ingrid sweater. Yeah, Claudia color. And I already started this last time. I was working on the yoke, I believe, but now I'm working on the body, and I already did the collar. So I'm sorry about the lighting, but it's also sunny outside. So I did modify the collar. Not the collar is meant to be firstly a 2x2 rib, and then you switch to a 1x1 rib and make it a little bit higher. But instead I did a double folded collar in 1x1, and I really like the look of that. It just needs an elastic for a little bit sturdiness. And then this is where I am at. So I'm working on the bottom cross mock cable section. The yarn that I'm using is Sandnes Garn Peer Gynt, which is quite a rustic yarn, to be honest. It's 100% Norwegian wool. I believe this color is called Electric Blue. I really love this color. It suits me really well, and I like this pop of blue in my wardrobe. It is rustic, and it doesn't itch, but I can feel it on my skin. It's not next to skin soft like my cardigan. That's really next to skin soft. This definitely isn't that, but I think it will be fine with a t-shirt underneath it, or like a high neck top, so it covers a little bit of my neck, and this doesn't sit all that much, especially with this like band. Well, I knitted it together. If that doesn't scratch on my neck. So it doesn't itch, but it scratches a little bit, if that makes sense. But it's nice and oversized. I believe I'm making size medium, so technically that is a size smaller than the pattern suggests, but it feels huge, and I think it will relax a little bit because of the stitch pattern and all the pearls and the ribbing. So it's going to be really nice and oversized, and I love that look. So yeah, I did a couple of modifications other than this color, and that is with the length, because as I said, I'm really short. I don't know what the American measurements are, but I'm 1 meter 60 centimeters. So my torso is really short. So I did a couple of rows less on this 2x2 rib. And I also did a little bit less of the moss stitch pattern here. And then after this cross pattern, I believe you go to the 2x2 rib. So I'm doing that shorter, and then the regular ribbing. And I'm just going to see where it will hit around my hips, because this will be nice and oversized and hopefully like really loose over my hips, because I don't like it to be snug on my hips, but my hips are the widest part of my body. It means that I have an hourglass figure, which I'm really happy with. But I want it to be so oversized that it flows around my hips and doesn't stuck on it. So hopefully this is big enough for that. And then I don't really mind how that is too long, but I don't want to hit it at the widest part of my hips, because then it accentuates your widest part. So it needs to be a little bit shorter than that. And I don't know if I'm going to tuck this in like I tuck everything in, because this isn't really a drapey fabric. I'm rambling. I have some b-roll footage of me wearing it, although you can't see very much of the fit, because it really needs a block. It's not long enough, and it already hits like the band of my my jeans if I stretch it out and unroll this like and stretch it a little bit, because I think it will grow a bit with weight. It's quite heavy, and when the shoulders or the sleeves are in, this will drop also a bit. But I'm really excited about it, and I'm not rushing through this just because I have other things I want to rush through, and this I think will be a really warm sweater. So more like end of fall and in the winter time. Right now we're having like a late summer. Do you call it an Indian summer? No, it's not hot enough for an Indian summer, but it's nice. It's like 22 degrees out. It's supposed to be fall. It's the end of September. But no, it's not fall yet. And in about a month, I believe, 3 weeks, I'm going to Copenhagen with my knitting friends, my offline knitting friends here from the Netherlands. So we're going on a girls knitting trip, and we're going to yarn crawl, obviously, because what else are you going to do for yeah, to Copenhagen too. And this I don't want to bring with me because I think it will be too hot for me to wear. So yeah, I don't know what else I can say about this pattern. I really love it, and I really want to see this finished because this is one of my dream knits. So yeah, that's one of my whips. Next, I have another blue one. And I made some nice progress with this, although I'm not really rushing it for these last weeks. Now I am right now. And it's my Lento sweater. And I already finished one sleeve, so I have one sleeve to go. And this is so lovely, so beautiful. I hope you can see all the colors. So the yarn that I'm using is really special to me. This is hand-dyed yarn from one of my offline knitting friends, one of my best friends. And this is from her cottage collection. It's called Blue Hydrangea. This is the Soulful sock yarn. So it is 75% merino, 25% nylon, and it's so soft. It feels the same, practically the same as her fingering, but she was out of the fingering at the moment, so I just chose the sock, and it means my sweater will be nice and sturdy, because why not? And as you can see, it has like a dark blue, it has green speckles, it has blue speckles in it, and then the white mixed through. And I'm holding this double with Lanagrossa Setasuri. So this is a Suri alpaca blend. 69% alpaca Suri and 31% silk. And I really love the combination. The color is a perfect match, but this is so soft. And if you haven't seen my podcast videos before, I'm really sensitive for issue knits, and I'm really sensitive for mohair. I just don't like wearing mohair. That's it's a shame, but this isn't mohair. I love this. This is so soft, and it replaces mohair perfectly because the yardage is, let's see, 25 grams is 212 meters, so it's practically the same as mohair. And that's what I'm holding together. This is the back, by the way. And the yarn is, the fabric is so beautiful, and you can see all the green speckles or the darker blue speckles in them. It's really special. And after the short rows, I started with the helical knitting to prevent pooling. Now, it looks perfect, doesn't it? The colors. It looks wonderful. I didn't do the helical knitting in the ribbing because that's too annoying. But I did do it in the sleeve. I did play around with the increases on this sleeve as well, because I believe I'm on gauge, and I thought the pattern, the Lento, has like a 3/4 length sleeve, which I hate. So I wanted to have full sleeves. So I want to stretch the increases a little bit, but do more increases, because when I was at the amount of stitches that I should have for the pattern, it was like really big. Well, not as oversized as this, but it was really big. So I did more increases rapidly at the end, and I think it fits fine now. So you can see some footage of me wearing it. It's such a beautiful color. It's so soft and squishy and light, and it flows. It has a drape. The only thing that's annoying me is the bind off on the body, and that's totally my fault. It's too tight. I believe like this looks like it's wide enough, but as I just mentioned about around the hips, it's snatches on the hips a little bit. So I'm not sure if I want to redo them. It doesn't have any stretch in it, or if I'm going to block it and then I'm going to see what I'm going to do about it. I'm not really sure yet. Maybe I want to tuck it in my jeans anyways. It wasn't the plan, but maybe now that's the perfect fit for me. I'll just do the other sleeve and then I'll see what I'll do. I did the ribbing on the collar a little bit longer because this is for me a winter sweater, because I'm hot quite easily in wool sweaters. So I want to have like a little bit of a chunkier collar, and I really like that. So yeah, I want to talk about this for like another 10 minutes, but I don't know what I want to say about this. If you're hesitant about making a Lento, just make it, because it's a wonderful pattern. Or the end result is wonderful, I have to say. The pattern is okay, but Femke, who makes the yarn, who dyed the yarn, is also making a Lento, and Jasmijn, another knitting friend, is also making a Lento at the moment. And we all have the same problems with an increase thingy, and I don't know if I can see it right now for myself, but somewhere along the short rows I don't think something is right in the pattern, and the increases here, it switches up a row, and I didn't see that for myself, to be honest, and when they pointed out I saw it. You can see it, and the increases are with knit front and back, which is quite easy to do, but I like just make one left, make one right increase line is neater. So next time I would do that, if that makes sense to you. So yeah, one sleeve to go. This sleeve I did in, well, actually a day. I could do this in a day, so it should be done in a couple of days now. And next time it will be finished, and this I want to bring with me to Copenhagen, because then we all have matching lentos and we can take cute photos together. So yeah, this is my next finished object, or almost finished object. It's my whip. Then my other favorite color than blue. I had 2 blue projects, so if you want to guess which color will be next, have you guessed it? Yes, it's pink. So this, I already last time I think I showed the yarn and the idea I had. I wanted to make the Marseille sweater by Petiteknit, and I wanted to make that so bad, with a pink sweater with red stripes. I just love that combination. It's fun, it's colorful, it's spring, but also you can wear it in wintertime. And the yarn that I use is Drops Brushed Alpaca Silk and Drops Flora, because I use that combination for the slipover, and I'm using the combination right now on a smaller needle, and I really like the fabric. It's soft and it's going to be warm, that I can say. But the problem with the Marseille sweater is that I couldn't get gauge. And gauge is a thing that's already tricky at the moment because I'm a loose knitter. And then I try to get like the amount of stitches per 4 inches. And then my row gauge is completely off, which is quite annoying with knitting stripes, to be honest. But even with needle size, I believe the Marseille sweater is meant on needle size 4, and then I did it on 3.5, and it felt too tight of a fabric, and I still didn't get gauge. So I decided I needed to get another pattern. So I chose the Sonja sweater by Petiteknit, which is a really simple, oversized sweater, which some of the same silhouette as the Marseille sweater. So a double folded collar, drop shoulder. It just has more positive ease, so it's bigger, and the construction is a little bit different, but you won't see that in the end. And I'm using the pattern of the Sonja sweater, but the stripes are placed based on the Marseille sweater, and this is what I have so far. And I joined in the round. So with the Marseille sweater, you start with Judy's Magic cast on, and then you knit the back with short rows, I believe, and you knit then the left front and the right front shoulder part, and you knit it all together. With this sweater, you start like a rectangular back, and you do a little bit of shaping around the armholes, and then you pick up stitches for the left shoulder, and there you do the short rows. So the short rows are on the shoulder parts, on the front shoulder parts, and not in the back, which is different for me, and I like that little bit of variation. So this is what the back looks like. And to be honest, in this yarn you can't see the seam, but it's over here. So this is the back, and this is the front. And I already joined, as you can see, it's a little bit of a mess with all the loose ends. So I did one stripe on the yoke, and it's going to have 4 stripes, and then after that the pink ribbing and 4 stripes on the arms. And as you can see in the B-roll footage, it's really, it's huge. I believe I'm making size small. And yeah, keep in mind, with Petiteknit I'm between a large and an extra large, because my bust circumference is about 100 centimeters. So I'm right in the middle of a large and an extra large. And for this, because this is meant to have 30 centimeters of positive each, which is crazy oversized, I decided to go down 2 sizes, and it's still huge, but hey, that's comfortable. I do have to say, the camera blows it out a lot. It looks a lot more neon than in real life. I feel like in real life it's a little bit more subtle. But yeah, you can see it, and I'm really excited for it. So yeah, this is how far I am. I would like to have this finished for our trip in 3 weeks, because then at least 3 of the 4 of us can have stripy sweaters. But I don't know if I can make that, and I maybe want to work on something else. So yeah, next time I'll have a totally different sweater. I feel like next time it will look like a sweater. It needs a color. Maybe that's what I should do next. The color, it always makes such a difference. And then the body and the sleeves. So yeah. And then for the last section of this video, I have some new yarn. And firstly, really exciting is, and it looks like a mess to be honest, because I scanned this up, but this is a Surrey alpaca from my friend Vem from the Mindfulcreators. You can find her down below. This is one of her yarns that she dyes outside of her collection, but this is her Surrey yarn in, I'm not sure what the name is called, Pink Dream maybe, you can look it up, but my name is written all over this, and I said it to her from, I really want to see it, and she made a really cute Oslo hat with this, held together with white Drops Flora, and it looks so beautiful. And I want to know, oh no, this is not, sorry, this is Mohair. This is her Mohair yarn base, mystical Mohair, is that what it's called? And I want to know if it itches, because Mohair. And she made that hat, and I tried that hat on, and I didn't feel any itch. I don't feel itchiness right now, or a little bit of itchiness. But yeah, it has my name written on it, so I said, well, I really would like to have this, and I want a hat. I want a pink, bright hat. And then she was so sweet that she gifted it to me. So thank you, Fem. Thank you so much. It's just so precious. So yeah, as you can see, it has hot pink and lighter pinks, and then a yellowy orangey color, and other like a darker burnt orange color. It's so beautiful, and I wanted to have all this together with the Drops Flora that I'm using for my pink sweater. And then I started to wonder, is that really the right color? So I did some swatches in one swatch, and this is what I swatched. So I first swatched this with a light pink bamboo cotton blend from Go Handmade. I use this in a Tulsa tee, which is a lovely soft yarn, but I don't know, the bamboo yarn shines a lot, and I'm not in love with this color combination. I like it, but I'm not in love. And then I wanted to try it with this cotton mohair blend, but that's a too grayish of a pink. I already have an Oslo hat in that same color, so that's the middle part. It can work, and I like that you can see the orange in it quite well. But this is with the Flora, the hot pink Flora, and I do have to say I really like that. So you can subtly, it's subtle, the differences from the mohair, but you can see the darker pinks and you can see the little bit of orange and a wider color. So yeah, I really love that. So I'm going to make an Oslo hat in this combination. So Drops Flora with this beautiful mohair held together. And then I'm going, yeah, I can marvel with the mohair being the special yarn. And I see Emily from High Fiber Knits do that so like often, and I really wanted to try that sometimes. So yeah, it will be a little bit more subtle, but it will totally scream me. So maybe I want to have that finished before Copenhagen again, although it won't be cold enough for me to need to wear a hat, but you can wear hats because they're cute. I don't know yet. But then, oh, I forgot a whip. But then I thought I want to have a scarf that matches with this. Had to be. But also I want to have a new scarf for my trip. Also like a scarf in general. Because I have 2 handmade scarves and those are just rectangular, straight garter stitch scarves. Like my first knitting project was a scarf and I still wear that scarf and I'm really proud of all its folds and holes and random increases. And well, it's obviously a first knitting project, but I'm proud of it. So I'm still wearing it, but it's bulkier and it's heavy. And we're going in October, so it's not really all that cold. It will be, I think, 10 degrees, 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. So it's not really all that cold, but I want the scarf to be cozy, but don't have the feeling that I'm walking all day in a city with like a heavy scarf and my coat and a bag of yarn and another bag of yarn. Well, so I'm making the Sophie shawl in pink. I had to. So this will match with the hat. The hat will have some variations in it. The scarf won't, but I think it's perfect together. And I can wear this with my coat as well. The coat I'm planning to wear is like white, fluffy. I call it a sheep. It's like wearing a sheep skin. So this is what I have. I started this yesterday and it's going by really fast. I ordered a couple of extra skeins. I'm holding Flora double because Flora is a fingering weight yarn. It has 210 meters on 50 grams. So these are my first 2 skeins. They're getting smaller, but yeah, it's a really nice knit. So I'm hoping this can fall over here, and I just think makes me happy. So yeah, this is another whip, and it's really light right now because I don't think this is even 50 grams. So I'm really excited about having a scarf that is light. Did I say Sophie scarf? This is the Sophie shawl because it's going to be bigger, but it's basically the same. It's really stretchy, of course, because it's garter. It has this nice I-cord edging. And the nice thing about knitting this with this yarn, it's the edges are really defined. So I can see where my increases are. So I don't have to keep track with markers or count them. I can see where my extra increase bump is. So at least for the increases, that's really easy and visible for me. So that makes this a mindless knit. And yeah, I don't think how wide I want it to be, what size I'm going to make it. Maybe I'm going to just knit these 2 up and then decrease for the other end. Maybe I'll just stop when I think it's wide enough. Probably between the size small and medium. I'm not sure. I don't want this to be too bulky because then it defeats the purpose of a new scarf. Because I want this long enough so I can wrap it around once at least. So yeah, pink dream all over here. Last thing I wanted to show you, my last new yarn, and I'm really excited about this. It's the new Drops yarn, Drops Daisy. Yes, blue, of course. If I don't buy pink, I buy blue yarn. I'm going to challenge myself in Copenhagen to buy something other than blue. To buy something, also something other than blue or pink. Like maybe green or the dark brown. Capsule number 9, I don't know. I'm going to talk about that in a later episode. But this is the new yarn from Drops, and I think everyone is excited about this because this is their 100% merino wool non-superwash. Because Drops has a lot of superwash wool, and I use the superwash merino for the baby sweaters. And this is so cool because it's so affordable. It's €4 per skein, but right now, because it's new the whole month of September, it's €2.80. So it's really cheap. And I couldn't resist. I had to try a feel for myself. And also when I saw my knitting friends last Saturday for a knitting date, Jasmine showed her Lyon sweater by Petiteknit, which is a striped sweater with a lot of thinner stripes than what I'm making with pink red version. And I was inspired. I want that also, and Fem also want that. So I'm going for a white base with a blue stripe, navy blue stripe. This is color 01, so this is the undyed version, and this is color 19, the navy blue. I like the color in real life a little bit more than the pictures online, although I think they're correct, but I was a little bit hesitant. And I really like my friends have a rusty brown color, but that's not my color. Just like the tomato soup corn cal that's going on right now. I love that idea. I would love to join that, but for the seasonal winter season color type people with a cool undertone, I'm not going to pull off reds, like orangey reds. I'm rambling again. So this will be the Lyon sweater, and I already swatched for it, and this is my swatch. So this is knit on needle size 3.5. The pattern says needle size 4, but I have to go down again, but I'm not surprised. I'm still 1 stitch too big, but I rather choose a size smaller than go down another needle size, because as you can see, it isn't see-through at all. It's a really nice fabric. It's funny that it, like, this is the cast on edge and it doesn't curl, so it doesn't have like all that drape, but a little bit. It's really soft, and if I compare this to the superwash, this is my review of the Drops Daisy for now. It feels quite the same, to be honest, but the superwash is like smoother. It's like you can glide over this a little bit more, and this is a little bit more, has a little bit more structure, but this is next to skin soft. It's so soft, so lovely. I need to block this. And yeah, and this is really shiny yarn, and this doesn't have a shine, which I also like. So yeah, I really like the yarn so far. It knits up beautiful. I don't know how this will wear, but hey, we will all have to see that in a couple of months when the first people have already wore their first Drops Daisy knits. And you can see the like irregularities with tension that I have, especially when it's knitted flat, but that will block out a little bit, and I don't mind it because it's handmade. Who cares? It doesn't have to be perfect store-bought. I think I like that you can see that it's made with my own hands. But yeah, this will be the Lyon sweater and I'm really excited about it. Quite neutral for me and I'm excited about it. So the thing is, for Copenhagen, I want to have that shawl finished, but that's going by really quick. I want to have my Lento finished, which probably needs like 2 days and maybe a bit more if I want to do the bind off again. And I want to have one striped sweater finished. And I'm saying I have one striped sweater. I should make the pink sweater, but this is so exciting. I really want to make this, but I don't think if it's doable to do all that, the Lento and the scarf, and maybe even a hat, and a whole new sweater in 3 weeks. Like, I've been knitting like crazy. Knitting is my therapy at the moment. I can relax with knitting. I can switch my mind off, and it completely distracts me from everything that's going on right now. I'm quite fine right now, but it's a hard time, and that's not going away soon. So I'm really diving into my knitting. I'm really productive with that. Not good for my bank account, but who cares? That's the least of my problems. I really find joy in knitting right now. It comforts me, it soothes me, and yeah, when I get home from work, I just want to knit and relax. So yeah, if you recognize that therapy knitting feeling, just let me know. If you want to talk about it, we're here together, and knitting can be so much more than just the products that we make. It's all about the process and the mental health that comes with it. Not all the time, because I've experienced knitting as just fun or relaxing and nothing more than that. But right now it's going a little bit deeper than that, and I'm really excited about it, and really excited about Copenhagen. And I do have to make a list for what I want to buy, because otherwise I'm going to run around like a headless chicken and don't know what to want to buy, and then I'm either left with a bunch of random yarns that I don't know what I want to do with them and an empty bank account, or I'm not going to buy a lot and I'm feeling disappointed about what I bought or not bought. But I think the empty bank account is more probable. Well, that's my ramble here in the end. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to clean this all up and then I'm going to knit, I think. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next podcast with a lot of new colorful knits. So see you. Bye bye.